Oh no.
Elijah on that, Jordan with 10, and Elijah with 11 applications. Strong business week right there, folks, when you got app counts that high. All right, let's get into our top producers of the week. We've got Laura Davis, 3,493. Jordan Gillum at 3,737. Sharon Casanova, 3,906. Getting into our top four, we've got Elijah Crujo at 6,434. We've got Jeffrey Miller, 7,666 in premium. We got number two spot, Val Zarn, 8,268. And our number one spot, and I promise you, I don't think this will be the last time you hear this lady's name announced, Betsy Barr, $11,165.25. So proud of you, Betsy Barr. Way to go, buddy. You are out there killing it. Our debt-free life representative and just flat out getting it done. I'm telling you, I think some really special things are going to be happening in that debt-free life part of the business. And Betsy Barr is definitely leading the way in that. So very proud of you, Betsy, and the things that you got going on each week. We talk here at the office, and I just know you got some special things cooking in the pipeline. So proud of you, Betsy Barr. That is awesome work. $11,165 for our number one producer of the week. All right, now let's get into group of the week as far as APV. We always like to represent the groups that are over 10,000 or more in a week here within our company. And Mr. Val Zarn and his organization this past week, $13,902 in premium. Way to go, Val Zarn and that team, getting off the new month of August production already. First week of August production. So strong there, and love seeing that from the Zarn organization. But that is not number one. No, and it's not number one by a long shot. Number one organization is the Mark Neubauer team. Check out this number, folks. $19,638 in premium for their first week of production. And I think they can do 30 or 40,000 in a week now with the players they got on that team. So 30 or 40,000 shouldn't be unexpected in the future coming out from the Neubauer organization. Way to go, buddy. Super proud of you, my man. He did this all part-time, folks. Not too shabby at all. So 19,638 for our number one group of the week. It's pretty impressive numbers. All right, love to talk about our business builders, because if you want to be on those leaderboards in the future, key component of you getting on that board would be you being somewhere on this board I'm getting ready to talk about. And so you want to be on here. If you don't hear your name called here, you probably want to get with your upline key leader, your agency owner today, and say, hey, how can I get on this next leaderboard each and every week? Because if you get on there consistently, something done consistently over time, you'll see great results in the future. STP leaderboards. We had Jared Gillum leading the way with 22 show the plans this past week. Michael Gray, 20 show the plans. Barry Davis over 10 STPs. Myself over 10 STPs. So way to go, everybody that met the STP leaderboard. For you brand new people, you're like, what's an STP? It's share the plan or it's show the plan. It's just you simply taking 10, 15 minutes with somebody that's already knows about what our company is hiring for, and you sharing the plan. We talk about them. They're called qualified STPs, people that have already been pre-screened, and you sitting down having a 10, 15-minute conversation to see if symmetry is a good fit for them. But it's people that already know what we do. It's not just a blind, hey, what are you doing? Would you like to come to us? You know what I mean? Whether you like to come be with our company. It's not about that. So it's qualified. And I love those names on that right there, because that's the future growth of our company. I promise you it is. If they do that consistently over time, that's the future growth of our company. So great job, everybody, on that. And if you're not on it, concentrate hard next week to get on it, because I promise you that's an effort thing. All right. On the next part is who got results from showing the plans. Jeffrey Miller, one new person recruited this past week. Paul Sharp got a new contract in. Michael Grafe got a new contract in. We go, Michael. Jared Gillum, new contract in. Way to go. Barry Davis, new contract in. Shane Dez, new contract in. Balzarn, 2 new contract in. And me and the lady up there on the left, we had 3 new contracts in this past week. So way to go, Miss Tina Freeman. You are a special lady. You are like one of the top recruiters in the country. Way to go, buddy. So awesome work, Tina Freeman. So that is everybody out there getting the job done in recruiting. All right. So way to go there, guys. And way to go, base shop, over 43,000 just in the base shop this past week. So strong numbers there. We'll probably be pretty strong on the national leaderboards in that. All right. So I think, Miss Tina, you correct me if I'm wrong, buddy. Make sure you're unmuted. Nope, you are unmuted. I think I got all the leaderboards. Anything I missed there?
I think you're good.
We're going to start out with Tina's tips. So if you're taking notes out there, this is Tina's tips. This is what probably is a difference maker in your business, because I promise you, she gives me tips on my business each and every week, and it helps me in my business. So I take some notes on Tina's tips. Go ahead, buddy. Uh-oh, I think you froze up on me.
Frozen.
You froze. We'll wait till you get unfroze. I'll come back to you, see if you unfreeze. Right now, you're like Sub-Zero. So we'll come back to you if you unfreeze. I know you got a new computer back there, so we'll see if that comes back to you, buddy. I promise you, I did not freeze you, because I see other people that are unfrozen out there. So a couple of news and notes from my end. New agent call on Tuesday. We've got host Grant Reynolds. He's one of the youngest agency owners in the history of the company, at the ripe old age of 24 years old, and he's already developed things. So if you're brand new in our business, you want to go out and you want to make a difference, get on that call, take notes. He's going to teach you how to get started quickly from the day he signed paperwork with Symmetry Financial till 10 months later, he became an agency owner, doing over $50,000 a month in premium with him and his organization. So if you're a brand new agent, get on there, take notes. And my challenge is, if you'll actually apply what he teaches you, I think it's going to make a huge difference in you getting started with your career here. Corporate overview, put this on your news and notes, 7 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday night. We're going to have the corporate overview. And I'll be sending out the cast members of that corporate overview coming up later this week today. So put that on your thing. What a corporate overview is for you brand new people, you can put people on there. You're going to learn from our best and brightest trainers. About 45, 50 minutes is how long we want to go on that operation. And what we're going to do is just show people what we do, but it gives you an avenue to see other people, right? Bring witnesses to what you already see here. And that's what our last book of the month even talked about. And Tina, you let me know if you get back on, buddy. See if she's back on. Hey, great part about sharing an office with you, Tina. You just come up here and share it with me if you want to, buddy. Because I know you got some tips to share. All right, so new agent incentives. I want to go over that here in a second. We also have a 12 o'clock Zoom session today where you can bury your insecurity and stick to the process, hosted by one of our agency owners here at Symmetry Financial, Grant Lieber. Love Grant. He's down in the great state of Arizona. And I'm telling you guys, he can go out there and he can show you flat out how to get it done. Plug into his call today at 12 o'clock. It's going to teach you about a sales process because that's what that call is geared toward. And so we're going to be able to make sure we have, look at that, live and in effect. Hey, that's the way we do it here sometimes. When technology fails us, we do not fail it. We go ahead and bring Tina's tips live and directly to you. So go ahead, Tina.
All right, guys, I did want to talk about just a couple of things. There's the new agents need to be checking your emails multiple times a day because you will be getting some contracting links. Those are time sensitive, so you need to get those completed just as soon as you can.
So is that agents that are not contracted or agents that are already contracted?
Agents that are contracted with SFG newly, and they will start getting their carrier contracts.
Boom. And they got to be looking out for those links. Is
yes.
What I'm saying? Perfect.
Yes.
So be looking out for those links, new agents.
Also, I wanted to make mention of the new promotion forms and new commission increase forms that are available on the SFG website under the carrier or under the contracting tab under support. You can find those. Also, the carrier reference sheet, you need to be looking at that because it will tell you if you need a license to receive overrides if you have a downline.
Huge if you're building, right?
And also, I wanted to make mention of the fact that we don't need to be reaching out directly to contracting at SFG. If you are direct to a key leader, you need to call them directly for help with anything, whether it's contracting issue, commission issue, anything like that. You need to call your direct upline. And if you're direct to agency owner like Grant Reynolds, then call him or his office directly. Of course, if you're direct to Chris Cook, you'll call us here at the office, either me or Chris, either one.
Yeah.
And we'll get you helped. They're getting bombarded with so many agents and they just can't get back to everyone timely.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we can answer it for you, or I can reach out to them if I don't know the answer.
And we never want, that right there can be misconstrued. We never want people to think that we're hiding people from corporate. That's not the case. It's corporate asking us to teach you guys this. They don't want you reaching out to them directly because they realize if they're getting 5,000 phone calls a day, they now actually get more bombarded with the phone calls and can't effectively go do their work. So they ask us as agency owners to have everybody that's in our hierarchies reach out to us, and then they handle those one phone calls at a time if there's any issues arise. So just understand the reason behind that is simply just to make the process more effective and to help everybody the right way, right?
That is right.
Anything else on Tina's tips?
That is it.
Technology is our friend, right? Thank you.
See if I get back on.
Hey, I told you we'd figure it out, buddy. All right, so that's that. One other thing I want to mention that, hey, key leaders, agency owner out there, I just say that we promote the heck out of because this is really for you brand new agents out there. I just want to talk for a second about fast track bonus and carrier kickers. Just understand, I want you guys to really absorb what this means for you as a brand new agent. And this is huge. I've been a part of the industry now for over 16 years. I've been here at Symmetry Financial for 6.5 years. I promise you, I've seen bonuses. I've seen a lot of different incentives, but I've never seen anything like this in 16.5 years in the business. I wish anything, me and Val, when we were at a previous company, had these incentives because we'd have won trips a whole lot quicker than we did. What do you think, Val? I just think we would have, buddy. So mark these down. And if you don't clearly understand them, I just ask that you get with a key leader, get with an agency owner today, and let them sit down and explain it to you for 5 minutes, because I want you to clearly get this. So if you're starting with us, say you've been with us 2 weeks. Well, your timeline didn't start 2 weeks ago. Your timeline starts when you first submit your first application. So that's pretty fair, right? So when you first submit your first application, that's when your timeline starts as a new agent with us here at Symmetry, because you're officially really getting going right there. Listen to this, the fast track bonus 30-day sprint, 30-day sprint. If you submit 20,000 with a minimum of 13,000 net placed in your first 30 days, and 30-day start date begins with the submission of business with any carrier, you get an additional $1,000 bonus on top of that. Additional $1,000 bonus. That's insane. That's like a huge raise. Your contract just really is actually points above what you even know. And I'm just telling you guys, that's huge. So you submit 20,000, 13,000 issue pay to that business for your first 30 days, folks. Boom. And I promise you, here's the key. You're saying, well, how do I do that? I'm going to give you the key. You fill a box, and the box is 15 plus, right? It's a left-hand box. Excuses don't fit in that box. Nothing else fits in that box. It's 15 sit appointments a week, whether it be Zoom or tele. If it's more towards the telesales part of it, I'm going to say more towards 17 to 20. But if you can sit with 15, massive action, constant correction, you can qualify for this bonus. Promise you can. So I'm going to challenge you to 15 if you're full-time with us, and make sure you're counseling with your key leader, your agency owner, and you can qualify for that $1,000. What will that do? Probably pay for your leads for the month, right? Or pay all your licensing costs back, anything else, your licensing fee, all that stuff. You want to be profitable from day one. Fill that box, qualify for this bonus. That's the first bonus. The next bonus, fast track 90-day hustle bonus. Now, it's really just the same 30-day sprint magnified over 90 days. Let's keep it simple. So here it is. You submit 60,000, net issue pay 39,000, so that's still 13,000 a month. It's the same criteria as before. Net placed in your first 90 days. Your 90-day start date begins with submission with any carrier. Here's the key. Now you get to go on a trip of a lifetime. So just for your first 90 days, if you will fill the box, which is part of our system already, which we know that if you want to be massively profitable here and stick around and not just be another statistic, it's you go out and you run that box for 90 days and you fill that box for 90 days. And whatever you got to do to fill that box at 15 appointments a week, that's what you do. And if you do that, you're going to win an all expenses paid trip to the SFG carrier trip of the year. That year, you're going to be able to go. And I promise you, if you're new, the old way to doing that would be like 300,000 issue paid over a course of a year. I'm telling you guys, that's phenomenal what they're doing, because we realize association is one of the key components of you building a great business here. Because we realize if you associate correctly, then you can go out and make this thing wild and wonderful. Because relationships matter. People come first. How we form those relationships is through great associations. So that's valued at roughly around $6,000. I promise you this, me and my wife have been on those trips for the last 6 years, and wow, I know we couldn't do those trips for $6,000. We estimated one trip down in Dorado Beach. I know our rooms alone were $1,800 a night. That was our rooms. You with me? And it's the most insane places, and they treat you just so phenomenally. And I just know what it would mean for you and your family or whoever. It's going to mean a lot to you if you qualify for that. But wait, there's more. Carrier kickers. There's also on top of this, so you win not only the Four Seasons Costa Rica trip, you can also win for each carrier. Check this out: 15,000 net place premium in first 90 days with one of the following core carriers. 90-day start date begins at the time of contract date. 15,000 net place with any of the common core carriers: Americo, Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, or American Amicable. Any one of those four, you do that, in each carrier that you qualify. I didn't say one carrier. Each carrier that you qualify for that, they will give you an additional $1,000 bonus. additional $1,000 bonus on top of the other stuff. Once again, I'm going to take it back. How do you qualify? Let's make it simple for you. It's a process. It's 15 appointments a week. That's how you qualify for it. Then they give it the hat trick bonus, which you complete 3 out of the 4 carrier kickers in 120 days. 120 days. So really, it goes down to your first 4 months to score the hat trick bonus. If you do that, it begins at your time of contract date with that carrier. Just remember that. You get an additional $5,000 bonus. So total bonus there, and I'm going to get to it. Then the last one is the Grand Slam. If you do all 4, Americo, Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, and AmAm, if you do all 4, you're going to get an additional $2,500 bonus on top of the $5,000. You add all that up together, guys, that comes out to a $12,500 value just in your first 4 months with us, just by filling the right thing, which is that left box of 15 appointments a week. I promise you, as you study your numbers, I know the key leaders are getting good at getting with people and getting numbers from them, because while we're doing that, we realize if we're giving you high challenge, high support, we realize we can help you get where you want to get to. And it gives us a guide to give coaching to you. So if they're doing that, realize they're doing the best thing they can for you. And that right there is going to help you get an additional, trip of a lifetime, an additional $5, $75, $85, $95, another $9,000, $10,000 in bonus on top of that right there. So I'm just saying, guys, we're doing it for the right reasons, because we know the people that qualify for this will be here long term. It'll be the people that go out and build careers here, and some of them will build massive businesses that leave a legacy for their family. My challenge to you, can you become a part of the fast track bonus and carrier kickers? That's my challenge to you. And pay attention to that, because that can make such a big difference. I've not seen 16 years plus in this business a bonus program that comes close to that ever. And we just got a 10% raise. I remember, like Casey said the other day, he said he started out on a 50% contract. So I started out on a 55% contract. And I know I would have loved that opportunity when I first started. Val probably remembers the old 55% contract, right? So, yeah, so Val probably remembers that. So anyway, guys, I tell y'all, that's where my heart is. And if you're a key leader, if you're an agency owner out there, my thing is promote the heck out of that. Promote the heck out of that, because if you will, you'll find people that'll go get it, and those are your future leaders of the company. So that's my little tidbit there. So that's all I wanted to say. Grant Reynolds, I still got you unmuted, buddy.
I'm still here, brother.
Man, you fired up about that fast track and carrier kicker bonus thingy?
Here's the crazy thing too, is if you did that, not only would you get $12,500 in cash, and a trip, you'd also get raises. You'd get 2 raises.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that, buddy.
So now, not only did you get, like, how many of you guys, like, your world would get flipped upside down if you got a check for $12,500? Like, what debt could you pay off? Like, finish a car. You know what I mean? Like, completely transform your world in 120 days. And then you're making 10% more on top of the fact that we have a higher comp grid now. Like, can I quit, Chris, and restart?
I know.
Can I do that? Is that a thing?
I'm about to say, I think a few of you are like, can I just resubmit my contracting?
Like, I know it's been 2.5 years, whatever. Can I restart?
Right.
That's incredible. I mean, how an agent can come in now from a profitability standpoint and what you can do for your family in a short period. I mean, we're talking about transforming your financial landscape in 90 days to 120 days. Where else can you do that? It's incredible. You just got to do it. And that's the hard part.
You know what's crazy too, Grant, is I'm sitting here thinking about, well, but wait, there's more. But wait, there is still more, because one thing we didn't factor in too, buddy, is if you did all of that, if you did 13, 13, and 13,000 your first 3 months, that's 39,000 of issue paid business that you submitted, right? So times 0.75 on the advance, and you're starting out on a 70. You also made an additional $20,475 on top of that first 3 months, right? That was on top of the bonus. because that was money you were getting paid for what you submitted.
See, that's the crazy thing. Is it's not even like you're going to go do the bonus and go work and get the bonus and that's it. Like,
right. Yeah.
That would be cool. But
right.
like, and you're getting paid in the process.
Right.
A really good amount of money, because the average advance now is $525.
Yep.
Like, good Lord.
Yeah. If you do the math correctly, it's over $30,000 now you'd make in your first 3 months.
I remember there was a time I made $30,000 a year.
Unfortunately, I remember all too well how long ago I made it. And I was, God, I'm embarrassed to say how old I was before I cracked the old 30 plateau in a year. So I like college too much. Let's just say that. So that would probably be a bad thing. So how long it took me to do it. I wish I had the wisdom to do it back when I was 24 years old, like yourself, Grant. So, buddy, I got you on here. You can talk about good to great. So everybody knows out there, our book of the month is good to great. And because we realize it's a critical point in our business, right? We want to be in step with one of the leaders of the company, Casey Watkins. He talked about the book of the month that he was on right now, and something that he was reemphasizing is him as Brandon was looking to take our company from Symmetry Financial is a good company, and we're looking to take it to great. You know, we're a lot of all of us are in our business where a lot of us are right now is we're good. We're wanting to take it to great. And so, buddy, tell us what you're getting out of the book, seeing what you make and apply to your business. Maybe help some of us out there. I'm ready to take notes, man.
Perfect. I love this book. It's the third time I read it. The second time I read it here, I think, in my career here thus far. And it's one of those books you read it and you're like, yep, we've been good. We've been good. You know, it's cool. We did some cool things. It's been good. Great's a whole different story. And so I love this book. So to give you an idea what the premise of this book is, pretty much they take ordinary companies, and I wrote this down because I liked it. So Good to Great examines what it takes for ordinary companies to become great and outperform their competitors by analyzing 28 companies over 30 years who managed to make the transition or fell prey to their bad habits. And so that's the premise of this book, is this study of these companies, of leaders, of how they go through this process. I think one of the things that is super poignant, and I'm not going to get into the different stories of the companies. You should read it. My job isn't to read the book to you over the next 4 minutes. But some of the things that I loved about this, and really it's kind of one of the simplest things, is just even the chapter title of the first chapter, which is good is the enemy of great. I think too many times we decide, like, we don't look at that in that aggressive manner to say that good is the enemy of great. Like, we put up with good, we're complacent with good. But what he's saying is like companies and people and leaders do not become great because they're willing to be good. And you have to look at it from that enemy standpoint, that is the enemy and that is what's holding you back. One of the things here in the first chapter that I love that he kind of breaks down and talks about is the 5 levels of leadership, right? So it's the level 5 hierarchy. The first one, as he was looking at these different leaders, is the highly capable. And as we go through these, write it down and think where you might be. Level 1 is the highly capable individual. Makes productive contributions through talent, knowledge, skills, and good work habits, right? So that's the level 1. Level 2, contributing team member, contributes individual capabilities to the achievements of group objectives and works effectively with others in a group setting. 2. Level 3, competent manager, organizes people and resources towards the effective and efficient pursuit of a predetermined objective or objectives. Okay, so now we've kind of moved. You're not just contributing, but now it's a process of bringing some people together. Level 4 is the effective leader, catalyzes commitment to and vigorous pursuit of a clear and compelling vision, stimulating higher performance standards. Level 5 is a level 5 executive. Builds enduring greatness through a paradoxical blend of personal humility and professional will. And so I challenge you, ask yourself, where are you on the 5 hierarchies of leadership? And then I would challenge you to write it down and then ask your upline, your key leader, your agency owner, where they think that you are, and see if you guys match. See how far away it is, and then ask, what do I need to do to move from level 2 to level 3? What do I need to do that? He says this, and I love this. He said, level 5 leaders channel their ego needs away from themselves and into the larger goal of building a great company. It's not that level 5 leaders have no ego or self-interest. Indeed, they are incredibly ambitious, but their ambition is first and foremost for the institution, not themselves. So I challenge you, think about your language, right? So if you're interviewing people, if you're wanting to build a team, think about your language, right? The beautiful thing of what we get to do at Symmetry, and this is kind of a connecting point here, the beautiful thing that we get to do at Symmetry is we get to make a really good impact, and you get to make really good money doing it. We just talked about it, right? We just talked about it with the bonuses and all these things. But if you're looking to build a career and build a business here, it has to be bigger than you and the paycheck that you bring home. It has to be about what we do. That's why we talk about how we protect families. Very rarely do we ever call it a sale. I don't know if you've ever picked up on that. Very rarely do people talk about sales here. We talk about protecting families. Because it's the institution, it's what we do that's more important than the ego of who we are. And so as you're kind of walking through this, he talks, hold on. Guys, my 4-legged children are like
Thaddeus and Aspen, man.
They're fighting in the background. I apologize.
No, I can even hear them, man. You're good.
So he talks about this connection between humility and will, right? Is what makes this level 5 leaders different. It's this duality. It's a modest and willful, humble and fearless, kind of this paradox that pushes and pulls, right? So many times I think we see leaders and we say, oh, that person's humble, and then we decide they're meek, mild, and a pushover. But what this is saying is the best leaders, these level 5, they're humble, they're meek, they're not looking for themselves, but they're also fearless, they're courageous, they're aggressive, they're willing, they're ambitious, and they go out there and fight. And there's this push and pull. That's a really hard thing to do. But if you can do it, you begin to move from good to great, even in your own leadership. And so he continues to talk and goes through a few different stories. Then we move on to, let's see, there was one thing here. I loved this. He said 10 out of 11 good to great CEOs came from inside the company. 3 of them by family inheritance. The comparison companies turned to outsiders with 6 times greater frequency, yet they failed to produce sustained great results. Why? So I'm going to bring this kind of thing that he's talking about here back to what we do. I have a friend, I mentioned this on a call. I have a friend and he built his entire agency. Scott Forehand built his entire agency, did no cold market recruiting. He built it all from the kitchen table, which meant that he hired from the kitchen table after he helped them with mortgage protection because they connected with what we did. They understood, they saw it, they believed in it, right? They filled out the form. They know it works. You don't have to convince them that this thing works. Why is that? Because people that come from inside, there's a connection of belief and will of what we do and how we do it. And they're willing to grab a hold of the vision and move forward. It's the same thing when we look at warm market recruiting. It's the same thing that when we look at recruiting from the kitchen table, is people that come from the inside of the system itself tend to be more effective because the belief level is there. If you recruit, you understand this. If you cold market recruit, it's a longer lead up process because business moves at the speed of trust. So you have to build relationship. But if relationship is already there and trust is already there, there's a more effective and more efficient mode of operation. I loved this, and I'm going to finish it up. I just saw the time. He talks about the 2 sides of level 5 leadership, professional will and personal humility. Okay. And I want you to write these down. He's got them in 2 columns. So under professional will, these are the things that he puts. He puts creates superb results, a clear catalyst in the transition from good to great. That's a big deal. If you want to go from good to great, you should probably be on a leaderboard. He didn't say good results. He didn't say average results. He didn't say decent results. He said superb, creates superb results. I think those 3 words, creates superb results, didn't wait for superb results to come, doesn't wish for superb results, but goes and creates it and takes ownership of that. That's huge. Next thing he says is demonstrates an unwavering resolve to do whatever must be done to produce the best long-term results, no matter how difficult. So what if you have to work 12 hours a day? People will slave for 40, 50 hours for 10 plus years to try to make 100 grand in corporate America and to get a 401k, right? People do this all the time. Yet in this business where we work for ourselves and we're fighting for our own dreams and our own families, are you willing to have that unwavering resolve and not go on autopilot, but have the unwavering resolve to continue to push forward regardless and do whatever it takes? So what if it's 2 to 3 years of discomfort, uncomfortable situation and scenario because you're spending more in recruiting than you are in your mortgage? 6 years from now, you're going to thank yourself, right? Next thing he says is sets the standard of building an enduring great company and will settle for nothing less. I think that's a huge thing. What do you settle for? The next thing he says, and this is under the professional will, he says, looks in the mirror, not out the window, to apportion responsibilities for poor results, never blaming other people, external factors, or bad luck. I like that one because it's super easy to blame things on bad luck. Oh, it's just a bad week. Oh, it just happened. No. What is he saying? If you want to go from good to great, you have to take complete ownership of the good and the bad and look in the mirror, and this is what it is. The other side of that, he says, personal humility. Demonstrates a compelling modesty, shunning public adulation, never boastful. Acts with quiet, calm determination, relies principally on inspired standards, not inspiring charisma to motivate. What are your standards? What are the standards that you're setting for your team? What are the standards that you're setting for yourself? It's an important question to ask. Then he says, channels ambition into the company, not the self. Sets up successors for even greater success in the next generation. I love that, right? So if your focus is to become an agency owner and it's not to create agency owners, you're going to never hit it. When I became an agency owner, it wasn't because and we talk about it all the time, it's the agency owner is the launching pad of this whole thing, right? If your focus is only to ever become an agency owner and not to create agency owners, then you're going to get stuck there and never move. I know this. I did it. Next thing, looks out. You like that? Looks out the window, not in the mirror, to apportion credit for the success of the company to other people, external factors, and good luck. It's all about the people. It's all about this mindset. And I'll tell you this, and we'll stop here because I want to be respectful of the time. This book, there's so much gold in it. We could talk about it for hours, honestly, in just the first 2 chapters. But if you would look at these 2 things, the summary of the 2 sides of level 5 leadership, professional will, personal humility, really the 4 things on either side that we laid out, and you really internalize those things, and you print that out and you have it in front of you every single day, and that's your focus every day. I'm going to look at that and I'm going to do that, and that's part of my process, that this is the leader I want to become. You'll be amazed at the results, and you'll be amazed at the impact that you're able to have using the vehicle that we have here at Symmetry. And you're going to go from good to great, no matter where you are. That's all I got.
I love it, man. Beautiful, buddy. You know, I was sitting here, I was taking notes and doing some highlights because I remember reading the book over the weekend and just, you know, thinking about different things. And I was like, where does this manifest ourselves in our team? You know what I mean? Where do we see good? And then that's the enemy of great. So here's some things that I jotted down. So if you're out there and you're still in the personal production phase of growing your business, which a lot, 99% of you guys are, it's good as the enemy of great. And where we see it is you can see a talented person that can make a leaderboard with less than the box, right? With less than 15 appointments a week. And they're good, right? You know what I mean? They're good. What the enemy is of that great is that's an enemy. Does that make sense? But they're still not meeting the standard, which you just mentioned, right? Of what you need to grow a business. And it's good. You can make a leaderboard, but it's not manifesting itself ever to greatness. And it doesn't actually manifest itself to really explosive growth. Because although we can make a leaderboard, we can high five and we can congratulate ourselves, really we're settling for less than what we are, which is really where true happiness comes, is us striving to be the best of who we are, right? Mm-hmm. And so So everybody, be conscientious of that, because we've got a lot of good, right? And when you see that, look at that inside of, if you're asking yourself, well, where am I at? And where am I settling for good when I could be great? You know what I mean? Ask yourself, where am I settling for good where I could be great? And then for the builders, that was the production side. For the builders, that's a pretty easy thing to manifest itself. Where am I settling for 5 recruits a month to 7 recruits a month, which is ultimately just massive frustration, right? Where am I settling for that and letting myself off the hook, where we realize where building it gets is 10 plus a month? And it's never what we don't know that holds us back. It's most of the time what we don't do that holds us back. Y'all with me? Because you know what I mean? And as you just think about that, right? And you think about that. And it's okay. Like, if you're happy where you're at, we're going to hug you. We're going to love you. But if you want to move from good to great, that's a challenge, right? It's to see where you manifest yourself in those type of things. So that's the challenge to you guys. And you've got sales training coming up today at 12 o'clock. Work with your key leader, work with your agency owner, and see where some avenues that you have a chance to move from good to great, or where's some chances you got to move from where you are to get to good, right? And so what's some challenges there, and work with people on that right there, because I promise you, we all have a stage, self included, that I've got to grow, right? I look me in the mirror, I have to grow, right? And I have to grow every day, right? So that's the challenge for all of us, is to look at those things. So Grant, I appreciate you so much for the example you set. Hey, by the way, guys, so if you're a new agent, you can be listening to him tomorrow on the call. You can be able to take notes. At the end of it, he's going to see what kind of questions you got. Have questions for him. Have them ready. He's written over $500,000 in personal production. $500,000 in personal production since he's been here in 2.5 years. Over 511,000 in personal production in 2.5 years. Is that right, Grant?
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's an example worth following. It's an example worth looking at. And I just say, over $500,000 in personal production in 2.5 years, guys. Get on there, take notes, and let's get you cup filled so you can go out there and make it from good to great. Appreciate everybody. Everybody have a good week. Got a couple of people that's hanging around with me. All right. Thank y'all.